If a married woman acts badly toward you, have you ever thought about what she might be thinking? What kind of friendship you have? If she laughs too long at your jokes, asks for your advice on personal matters, or looks for reasons to spend time alone with you, these small signs can be both exciting and confusing, making it hard to tell if the relationship is just friendship or something deeper. In this video, we'll talk about how to handle these situations more effectively, looking into the mind behind a Mar, the things that Mar woman does and why she does them. We'll look at the different ways a married woman might show interest, from subtly flirting to seeking emotional connection. We'll also talk about the possible reasons for these actions, such as true friendship, a need for approval, or an attempt to escape an unhappy marriage. By understanding the psychology behind these tricky situations, we can learn how to handle them with empathy and respect. In this video, we'll use real-life examples and the opinions of experts to put light on the details of these situations. We'll also give you useful advice on how to read a married woman's cues. Set healthy limits to keep yourself safe from misunderstandings or emotional problems. Remember that every situation is different, and it's important to treat these interactions with care and honesty. Whether you're going through these dynamics yourself or are just interested in how people act, this movie is very helpful because it shows how complicated relationships can be and how the lines between friendship and flirtation are often not very clear. You'll have a better understanding of why married women do the things they do and the skills to handle these situations with honesty and kindness by the end, so grab a coffee and read on. Join us as we explore the fascinating world of human connection. Before we start, I'd appreciate it if you liked the video. If you are not already subscribed, you can help me keep sharing the Stoic philosophy. To make sure you don't miss any videos, please subscribe and turn on the bell. If you like the topic of this video, please leave a comment on number 1. If you didn't, please leave a comment on number 0 to let me know so I can make a better video for you. Now let's start one responsive conversation. When a married woman consistently responds to your messages quickly, it shows how much she likes you. This behavior is based on psychological principles related to human connection and validation. A lot of research in psychology suggests that people need to connect with others and feel validated by them. This basic need makes people look for deep ties and information in their relationships, especially when they talk to a married woman. Her quick answers show that she feels compelled and eager to talk to you. Each message you send her is a moment of connection and validation that meets her natural need for social contact and affirmation. Her quick responses may also be fueled by the thrill of communicating in secret. Your interaction is private and forbidden, which adds excitement to her daily routine and makes her feel eager and excited. Additionally, her quick responses to your messages serve as a form of validation for her identity and desirability. By prioritizing communication with you, she communicates that you are important in her life and that your attention matters to her. This validation boosts her sense of self-worth and attractiveness, which in turn increases her overall sense of fulfillment and satisfaction. Along with that, her quick responses may show that she wants to keep the conversation going and strengthen your emotional bond. Each message exchange becomes a chance to grow closer and understand each other better, which makes your relationship stronger. Encourages a sense of closeness and camaraderie, paving the way for deeper emotional involvement. However, it's important to approach this dynamic with care and sensitivity, taking into account what it could mean for everyone involved. Could mean real interest and attraction. It's important to understand how complicated her marriage is and the moral issues that come up. Treating her with respect and empathy for her marriage and personal limits is making sure that all interactions are voluntary and mutually beneficial is very important. How quickly a married woman responds to your messages can tell you a lot about how interested and involved she is. This is because she is trying to meet her basic psychological needs for connection, validation, and excitement. Her actions show how her feelings and wants are playing out in a complex way. To handle the tricky parts of your relationship with empathy, honesty, and respect for everyone involved, you need to know why she did what she did. Two types of interests that match up. When a married woman genuinely likes your hobbies, interests, and activities, it could mean a desire for a stronger emotional connection and compatibility. This behavior usually comes from psychological processes that are built into people. We naturally gravitate toward people who share our interests and values because that creates a sense of mutual understanding and rapport, which are psychologically important parts of any meaningful relationship. Several things can be blamed for the occurrence. First, when someone shows interest and excitement about our hobbies and interests, it makes us feel like our desires and interests are valued and appreciated. This kind of approval can make you feel warm and fuzzy about the person showing interest, and shared hobbies help people connect with each other. Interaction. Doing things together that you both enjoy can strengthen the bond and create shared experiences that are important for getting closer and more intimate. It also lets for meaningful conversations and exchanges that strengthen emotional connections and foster a sense of belonging for a married woman. To actively seek out opportunities to take part in activities or discussions that are related to your interests shows that you are trying to close the gap and build a stronger connection. It means they want to spend time and effort getting to know you better and connecting with you on a deeper level, possibly going beyond the level of a casual acquaintance. However, it's important to be careful and sensitive in these situations because relationships are complicated, especially when one or both of the people involved are already married. Real connections can happen naturally. To avoid misunderstandings or problems, it's important to follow boundaries and think about what your actions might mean. Recognizing and responding to real interest and connection can lead to fulfilling and enriching relationships, whether they're friendships or romantic ones. It's a reminder of how powerful shared interests and emotional connection can be in creating meaningful bonds with others. 3 compliments you often get. If a married woman constantly compliments you, it could mean that her psychological reasons are affecting the way people interact with each other. As a form of verbal affirmation, compliments are very powerful in social situations. They are not only a way to show appreciation, but they can also help boost self-esteem and strengthen good social bonds from a psychological point of view. Compliments are strong tools that can change behavior and make relationships stronger. As a form of positive reinforcement, compliments encourage people to keep doing the things that get them praise. In a relationship, whether it's platonic or potentially romantic, compliments serve to affirm and validate the recipient's qualities, talents, or accomplishments, creating a sense of mutual appreciation and admiration. For example, if a married woman compliments you often, it may be because she admires your qualities and wants to boost her self-esteem by extolling your virtues. She may be indirectly seeking validation and reassurance of her worth by finding comfort in the praise she receives in return. This dynamic shows how self-perception, social validation, and ties with other people are all connected in complicated ways. Also, compliments are a way to show interest and attraction. If a married woman goes out of her way to compliment your qualities or accomplishments, it could mean that she really likes you and wants to improve your emotional connection with her. Compliments can be subtle signs of love that lead to a closer relationship and intimacy. When dealing with serious issues like marriage and interpersonal boundaries, it's important to be careful and sensitive even when someone compliments you. Compliments can show real appreciation and admiration, but they can also be misunderstood if they're not handled with care. To avoid misunderstandings or problems, it's important to keep communication open and respect boundaries. When people in a partnership give and receive compliments, they build trust, strengthen emotional connections, and encourage good social dynamics by recognizing and praising each other's strengths and virtues. By developing a greater sense of mutual appreciation and understanding, people can strengthen their relationships with each other. Stoicism tells people to tread lightly when it comes to sex and beauty. Self-control and a focus on inner virtue rather than outer wants by working on self-control and developing good traits for sharing personal details. Stoics believe that people can find more happiness and fulfillment in their lives by sharing personal details. For example, when a married woman tells you about her life, marriage, or deepest thoughts, it builds trust and intimacy that goes beyond just being acquainted. Sharing intimate details has deep psychological meaning, being a way to build stronger emotional ties and better understanding between people from a psychological point of view. Giving out personal information to others shows that you are open and vulnerable. It takes a lot of trust for someone to open up about their life, marriage, or deepest thoughts. When a married woman tells you about her fears, wants, and weaknesses, she is letting you into her inner world. In this act of weakness helps people feel connected and empathetic. Allowing for mutual understanding and emotional resonance means that a married woman feels safe and trusting around you, and that she thinks you can support and understand her. It also means that she is willing to share her deepest thoughts and feelings with you, comfort and company when you need it. This level of trust and closeness can lead to a stronger emotional connection that goes beyond friendship. Also, confiding in someone can be the start of romantic feelings or desires. If a married woman tells you personal details about her life, it could mean that she wants to be more emotionally close to you. It's important to be sensitive to and respect the complexities of marital commitments and interpersonal boundaries when paving the way for a romantic relationship to blossom. While confiding in someone can be a natural way to show trust and intimacy, it's important to keep communication open and follow ethical standards to avoid misunderstandings or problem situations. When you share personal details and weaknesses with someone, you show how strong your emotional bonds are and how powerful human connection is. People can build stronger relationships based on trust, empathy, and mutual support, which makes their social ties stronger. 5. Physical closeness. If a married woman actively seeks physical closeness with you, whether it's by standing or sitting close, making eye contact, or starting casual touches, it can tell you a lot about her emotional needs and wants. This behavior points to a desire for closeness and connection that goes beyond. From a psychological point of view, the desire to be physically close goes beyond just social contact, is deeply rooted in human nature and comes from our natural need for physical contact and connection, both of which are important for our emotional health. When someone, especially a married person, looks for ways to be physically close to someone, it's a sign of a deep desire for emotional closeness and connection. Standing or sitting close, putting your hands on someone, or making long eye contact are all nonverbal signs of affection and attraction. These actions create a sense of physical closeness and intimacy, which leads to a deeper emotional bond between people. If a married woman consistently displays these behaviors toward you, it means she wants to bridge the gap between emotional intimacy and physical closeness, seeking fulfillment and connection outside the boundaries of her marriage. However, it's important to be sensitive and aware of interpersonal boundaries in these situations. Being close to someone can be a natural sign of attraction and affection, but it's important to respect their commitments and boundaries. Misinterpreting or mishandling these cues can cause misunderstandings or unintended consequences that could put existing relationships at risk. Physical closeness seeking is a sign of our deep need for, by noticing and understanding these subtle cues, people can navigate their relationships with empathy and respect, which leads to deeper connections based on mutual understanding and emotional satisfaction. 6 actions that show flirtation. Engaging in flirtatious behavior with a married woman, whether it's through playful teasing or suggestive comments, can be a sign of a complicated mix of feelings and wants too. In social situations, flirting is a fun way to show interest and get to know someone better. Interest in a way that is generally acceptable from a psychological point of view. People flirt to see how open their relationships are and to see how far they can go with their exchanges. Flirtatious behavior with you suggests that she might be interested in exploring a love connection outside of her marriage. It's a delicate dance of communication where body language and playful banter reveal deeper feelings and intentions. Flirting can be done for many reasons, such as getting attention and validation, or meeting mental needs or wants that haven't been met. It gives people a chance to feel excited and look forward to meeting someone new and potentially romantically interested. However, it's important to be careful and aware of what could happen. For example, it's important to think about the moral implications of potentially dating someone who is already committed. Besides, flirting can also be a sign of dissatisfaction or unmet needs in a marriage. If a married woman seeks approval or excitement outside of her marriage through flirtatious behavior, it may be a sign of underlying problems or unmet needs in the relationship. However, it's important to deal with these issues through open communication and professional help instead of looking for fulfillment in extramarital relationships. To correctly understand flirtatious behavior, one must carefully consider the situation, the person's intentions, and their partner's boundaries. While flirting may not be harmful, it is important to understand and respect each other's commitments and boundaries. People can handle their relationships with honesty and respect, whether they are just friends or could become love. By practicing self-control and growing good traits, sAdvice tells people to treat sex and beauty with moderation, self-discipline, and a focus on inner virtue rather than outer desires. Stoics believe that people can find more happiness and fulfillment in their lives by letting go of 7 emotional dependence. If a married woman shows signs of emotional dependence on you, like asking for your advice, validation, or support on personal matters, it shows that she has a complex relationship with you. The dynamic of emotional bonding and attachment. Emotional dependence comes from a basic need for approval, acceptance, and understanding from others. When someone relies on someone else for emotional support on a regular basis, it shows a stronger psychological connection and attachment. Emotional dependence is a need for approval and comfort that usually comes from unmet feelings of need or insecurity. Women who are married coming to you for advice, support, or validation shows that they value your presence and see you as a source of comfort and security in their life. How much you depend on your emotional help may show a growing emotional connection and bond that goes beyond the limits of a casual relationship. Also, asking for your opinion or advice shows a level of trust and openness that is typical of intimate relationships. When a married woman talks to you about personal things and wants your opinion, she is basically letting you into her world, revealing her fears, insecurities, and weaknesses. In this act of weakness, supporting and validating someone's feelings can be a natural way to show care and concern, but it's important to be sensitive and aware of your boundaries in these situations because of the complexities of marriage and interpersonal dynamics. The act of emotional dependence shows how powerful emotional connection can be and how important it is to support each other in building lasting relationships by understanding and caring about each other's emotional needs and weaknesses. People can grow stronger bonds of trust, closeness, and friendship, which makes their relationships with others better. These 7 signs can help you understand the complicated dynamics of attraction and desire in relationships involving married people. However, each sign may show a different level of interest and intent, so it's important to treat all parties involved with empathy, understanding, and respect. It's also important to think about the possible consequences and moral issues of pursuing a romantic relationship with a married woman, including how it might affect her marriage, family, and overall health. Stoicism tells people to be aware of their sexuality and beauty in balance. Self-discipline and a focus on inner virtue rather than outer wants. By training in virtue and practicing self-control, Stoics believe that people can be happier and more fulfilled in their lives by following their teachings. To do this, they say, people should practice mindfulness, resilience, and making moral decisions by following the Stoic principles of focusing on what we can control, accepting things we can't change with grace, and living in line with virtue. People can develop inner peace and strength. This means learning to deal with problems calmly, finding joy in small things, and putting character above material things. By following these Stoic principles consistently, one can develop a clear sense of purpose and resilience that will help them handle life's challenges, leading to a more satisfying and balanced life. Would you like to learn more about Stoicism or how to use these principles in specific situations? Stoicism is a style of thought that focuses on being wise in real life, having honor, and being strong when things go wrong. Here are some important ideas and habits that you can use every day. Stoics believe that a lot of our worry comes from trying to control things that are out of our control. Instead, they say, focus on the things you can control, like your thoughts, actions, and reactions. 2. Practice. Being mindful. Stoicism tells you to live in the present and be aware of your actions and thoughts. This helps you stay clear-headed and make smart choices. 3. Accepting the present moment. Seeing things as they are, good or bad, helps you stay at peace and avoid needless pain. Build resilience. Stoicism teaches people how to deal with problems and failures with strength. It means seeing problems as chances to learn and grow instead of as things that can't be overcome. 5. Live by virtue. Stoics stress living a life of virtue, which includes traits like moderation, justice, knowledge, and courage. Putting these virtues first in your actions and choices will lead to a more moral and satisfying life. 6. Show thanks by being thankful for what you have and the good things that have happened in your life. Encourages a positive attitude and the ability to bounce back from tough times. 7. Think about what you did. People who follow the Stoic way of life often write in journals and think about their actions and thoughts to see how they can be better and more in line with their values. By applying these ideas to your daily life, you can develop a strong attitude, clarity, and inner peace that help you deal with life's difficulties in a strong and honest way. If you can think of specific times when you'd like to use Stoic ideas, please share them at the end. Understanding the subtleties and dynamics of interpersonal relationships, especially when dealing with a married woman, requires careful consideration of psychological principles and moral boundaries. Whether it's showing interest in your hobbies, sharing personal information, or flirting, every action shows underlying emotions, wants, and needs. By recognizing and respecting these subtleties, we can navigate relationships with empathy, honesty, and mutual respect. Now let's think about what you've learned from this discussion. What will you do to use what you've learned in your own life? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more helpful videos on relationships and psychology. Thank you for seeing.